So there is a new piece in the Wall Street Journal on Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, and her senior advisor, Corey Lewandowski, that is absolutely and totally bananas. Now, it's a long piece. You might not read the whole thing. I read the whole thing. And it is one of the most remarkable takedowns I have seen, and comprehensive takedowns I have seen of a high-profile cabinet secretary in a very, very long time. I took, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 things. There's more, but I took 7 big nuggets from it that I wanted to share with you, because trust me, this piece is going to keep getting talked about as we head into the long weekend, because it is genuinely bonkers, some of the stuff that Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski get up to. Okay, so a lot of different ways to tackle this. I'm going to start, I think, from the beginning of the story and just go sort of chronologically to the end. Things that struck me, things that jumped out to me. Before I do that, very quickly, I hope you become a subscriber to this channel. I'm independent, I'm authentic, and I'm making videos every day about the political news you need to know. Okay, so thing number 1. Donald Trump regularly brings up the idea that Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski, both of whom are married, not to each other, are having an affair. And the Wall Street Journal reports that Lewandowski wanted to be Noem's chief of staff at the Department of Homeland Security, and Trump nixed that because of the talk that Lewandowski and Noem are having an affair. Now, I will say, this is something that has been whispered about in Washington for quite some time now. Lewandowski is very, very involved in Noem's sort of entire public persona. He pushed for her to be a VP pick, or in the VP mix in 2024. That didn't work out after she wrote a book that said she murdered her dog. He pushed for her to be in Trump's cabinet, where she is now, Department of Homeland Security. And he continues, I think, to push for the possibility that she will run for the Republican nomination as kind of the, immigration hawk of the party in 2028. So this is something that's been out there, but I had not seen it kind of that Donald Trump is focused on it. Or brings it up regularly, according to the Wall Street Journal. I had not seen that. Now, tied to that is the reporting, the reporting in the Journal that Lewandowski and Noem fly around on an official Department of Homeland Security 737 MAX jet that contains a private cabin in the back. Draw your own conclusions. But I will say that the story says that DHS is leasing the plane right now, but plans to buy it for $70 million, which I think occasions the question, does the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security need a $70 million 737 to fly around in? I would suggest the answer to that is a definitive no. And did I mention it had a private cabin? I will also note that the Journal story, just to wrap up the Noem-Lewandowski kind of personal relationship, that basically the story says that they do not try to hide that relationship around people who know. I guess if you know, you know. Okay, other things. Noem is very focused on Tom Homan, the border czar, and her getting one up on him. So the Wall Street Journal reports that Noem watches carefully and has her staff monitor whether she or Homan is on television more. At one event that they both spoke at, she wanted to know which one of the two, her or Homan, got a larger crowd. Yes, that is correct. Crowd size, which is the most Trumpian thing possible. But again, this goes to my point I made earlier that Noem, I think, wants to run as kind of the immigration hardliner in 2028, that I'm the person who put all these policies in effect with Donald Trump, that, I can keep doing this as we go. So I think that she wants to do that and sees Homan as a threat to that. I don't think Homan's running for president, but anyway, that's out there. Okay, just wait. There's so much more in here. Where to go next? Oh, this may be my favorite one. There's reporting in the Wall Street Journal story that says that Noem and Lewandowski fired a Coast Guard pilot who had flown them somewhere, maybe it was on the 737 MAX jet, because he had left her preferred blanket on the plane. That is not a joke. That is real. And even better, that they wanted this pilot who they fired to take commercial flight home, but they realized they didn't have anyone else there to fly the plane, so they had to have him fly the plane and rehire him. I mean, it's beyond all reckoning. All right, what else? Not surprisingly, again, Noem and Lewandowski see the DHS job as a stepping stone to a bigger job. Again, she wants to run for president. They fired 80% of the career ICE field officers when they came into the job, which is remarkable. You're telling me that 8 and 10 of those people were bad apples? Seems unlikely that there's that many people who are that incompetent at Immigrations and Customs Enforcement before Noem and Lewandowski came in. And then the last thing, and the story ends on this, and it's just brutal. Corey Lewandowski wanted a federally issued badge, like a law enforcement badge, and a federally issued gun. Now, he is not a trained police officer or law enforcement official in any way, but he wanted that and used it as a criteria in hiring someone. Would you be okay with giving me this thing that I want? All right, so overall, I mean, it is a comprehensive takedown of Noem and Lewandowski. I mean, one of these things that I just went through would be enough for you to roll your eyes. 2, 3, 4 of them, I think, that you see in this story would usually be enough to get a cabinet official fired, or at a minimum, get Lewandowski fired. This is Donald Trump, not normal in how he approaches things, so maybe that won't happen. Not entirely sure. But I will say, I mean, this is just a stunning piece of journalism where, some of the stuff they got, clearly the knives are out for Noem and Lewandowski at DHS. Some of the stuff that they got has to be people who worked at DHS who just do not like them. But man, it is just an absolutely brutal story. I will put the link in the comments. I'll see if I can do a gift link. I subscribe to the Journal, so I'll see if I can do a gift link so you can read it. You absolutely should read it. Does Noem survive the weekend? Under any normal circumstances, no. I mean, if half of the stuff in this story was reported and true, most cabinet officials would be out. This is Trump. I don't know, but man, I would say if she was on thin ice before, now one leg has broken through the ice and she's trying to hold her and Lewandowski above water because, man, this story just absolutely goes after them. All right, that's it for me. As I said before, I hope you subscribe to my channel. Authentic, independent, and here every day breaking down the biggest political stories, giving you the news you need to know and the analysis you want to know on them. I also hope you like and comment on this video. It helps me grow among people who are not already subscribed to this channel, those poor, unfortunate few. Be an evangelist. Tell somebody in your real life about what I'm building here and why you think it matters. Last thing, check out the membership tab on my YouTube channel page. I am bulking up the membership tab. Right now I have something called the Diamond Club. It is $6.99 a month. If you check it out, you get 2 videos every single week in addition to all the videos that I make for any subscriber. You get every Friday, you get a Worst Week in Washington, where I pick the person, place, or thing who had the worst week in Washington. That's always my favorite video to make. Every Monday or Tuesday, depending on our schedules, you get a conversation video podcast with Chuck Todd and I, former host of Meet the Press. We go about an hour, talk about politics, sports, culture, everything in between. All right, everyone, take care.